Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 60 of Dissonant Waves.
Hello, hello. Howdy.
Ritz and Tricks are here. I'm Dominic.
As always.
We got some interesting debuts of various types to listen to this week.
Before we start though, I really just want to mention this and get this conspiracy out there. I'm I am so certain that Lorenzo Cook of Petite League's voice is not actually the one that he puts out on every track he releases. I'm pretty sure he pitches it up in Audacity, and I have created the proof so. Thank you.
Lorenzo, if
I
you're
have slowed
listening,
down I have slowed down many, many of his tracks, and every time the voice sounds legible, it sounds somehow more legible than. Well, it sounds exactly the same, surprisingly. Like, in that part in Saint Michael where he like kind of says all his words really fast and slows them.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly the same slowed down. It's somehow still as fast and still as slowed. I had no idea what the fuck he's saying.
Let's
Is it the French part or?
That'll probably be why then.
yeah.
Dans un magasin au Ridgewood, Queens.
Yeah, there you go. But the big one is of the Annie acoustic, a solo version, in which I have slowed that down by a fifth and nothing else. And not only does it sound more legible, it sounds better.
Arguable.
Is this
What
whole?
do you think, Dominic? Is it better or worse?
It's better than the acoustic version, but I still think the studio version is the best one.
We're not talking about the studio. We're just talking about the acoustic.
It's better.
Thank you.
Annie, you're my nightmare.
Is this whole podcast just like slowly unraveling Petite League layer by layer?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now that we've done all the
We're
albums.
Petite League fan
We
cast.
got nothing else to talk about for Valm Soho and Neutral Milk Hotel, so. And now are the other ones that apparently we're the fans of, so.
I mean, we could always do like the Spark Alaska Throw TV or the milk stuff, all the other unreleased Neutral Milk stuff that we do. So there's avenues
I am
still.
growing out
There's
my
a
hair
new-
over my eyes, so we could do Spark Alaska.
So there's a new Petite League single coming out in July. So
Oh yeah, I think I actually saw that.
They still got to release more of Defang. Whenever they do that, we were definitely covering that.
yeah, that'll be interesting. We're
I'm currently
entitled
just
to start
watching,
2020 off with no mask.
I'm currently watching Origin at the moment, and I have a bet on a player to score here. So it says no try, but we can always get rid of that no. Please get no. I have $5 riding on this. That's all.
I am playing Monkey Ball as we speak because Monkey Ball.
Monkey Ball is life.
Oh god, it is. I
Oh
love
yeah, and
Monkey Ball.
at the end of this episode, I can finally do an announcement on my project. Hooray!
Nice.
Alright, now that we've gotten the bullshit out of the way, what are the albums we're covering, Dominic?
Well, we got two EPs from me: Lil Nas X's "Seven" and "High" by Alex Boniello with the Pigeons single. That's the only solo stuff Alex has put out. We've got the Wombats' "Girls, Boys, and Marsupials," their CD-only debut album that's only released in Japan, and "Surfer Rosa" by the Pixies. I keep wanting to call it Surfer Rosa with an A, but that's not correct.
Indeed, it is not.
I have some hot takes this week. Which one do we want to talk about first?
What's your biggest hot take, or what's your smallest hot take?
My smallest hot take is that the Wombats are completely fine.
I like the Wombats.
The Wombats are fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
Not
Girls.
their best product, but
Yeah, let's talk about it. Why did you select this, and why did you order it from Japan?
because I'm a big Wombats fan. That's about it. I like CDs and I like the Wombats. This doesn't go much further than that. I mean, it's a band that I've grown up on. I think around 2010 when Tokyo came out.
Mhm.
That was just blasted a lot in this country. My favorite my favorite album of 2011 was this Modern Glitch. Just over the years, it's a band that I've kind of just stuck with. And a couple years back, I found out that hey, they had this Japan CD only, Japan only CD. And last year, at the start of COVID, actually, I ordered it, and it arrived this year.
You ordered it a year
It
ago?
Yeah, because they couldn't send it for a
CMS got
long
shut
time.
down.
God damn.
It was being
Yeah.
sent from from Japan itself, and
Yeah,
it was
well,
a mint condition copy though, which is very nice. Which I completely
yeah.
ruined by opening.
Don't worry, I'm gonna do the same to a Rare Witch cassette tape that only had 200 copies made, so don't feel.
Yeah, but you're a
But
little closer to Japan than we are. If I would have figured that would have come sooner. But
they couldn't send it.
Yeah, EMS was shut down, which they do a lot of shipping out of Japan,
Mhm.
and so like if that you had to ship, you had to go. I forget the exact service, but like a lot of guitar guys, because Fender Japan puts out a lot of weird stuff. Like recently, they did the Final Fantasy 14 Stratocaster.
Sure.
And they couldn't ship to Australia for a long time. They finally could, and I got it this year. And there is an excitement for me for this because when I first put it in, it's like, all right, all these songs aren't on YouTube. They're not on Spotify, the re-released versions, because what a lot of people might not realize, because all these songs were re-released at one point. People may not realize that they were also re-recorded when they were re-released. This is all the original versions of songs. So it's like a demo album.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier this week. It's just like a demo kind of thing. And like even Wikipedia is very back and forth about what counts as the first album, whether it's a studio album, whether it's an EP, whether it's whatever the fuck. They're very confused about it.
I mean, there are some good tracks in here that didn't end up getting released on Love, Lost, and Desperation. I mean, Metro Song is one of my favorite deep cuts from them. I like Derail and Crash and Caravan and Rails. I wasn't ever like, it's not a terrible song, but when they do slower paced songs like Little Miss Pipe Dream, they're not as interesting to me.
Mhm.
So I was a little surprised that out of all the songs on here, that one stayed. But there are some classic songs that admittedly were better in their re-recordings on here. I mean, Lost in the Post, Moving to New York, Backfire at the Disco is an absolute classic.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fun songs.
yeah,
Like for me, this is kind of a blunder, and that a lot of it just sounds fine. It sounds good, but it's like the re-recordings must really make it more dynamic because a lot of it's just kind of like, yeah, good.
But what I do like about this era of Wombats is this. I mean, granted, this was a lot of English indie acts at the time. They are heavily inspired by dance punk.
Yeah, this is like Two Door Cinema Club. I feel like take a lot of inspiration from that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, potentially.
Like the EP that we listened to from them, I was reminded of that listening to.
I'm honestly just surprised though that this wasn't even on YouTube Music or anything else.
yeah. It's not uploaded on YouTube like at all.
Well, not of this recording.
Maybe we'll change that.
Nah, I think this is one of the times that the band is still active, so it would be in their wishes probably not to have it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
If it was a case like Seismic, absolutely would just put it on, because that band's no longer active. There's just pretty much no copyright holders for it anymore. I know that's not actually the case, but it's pretty much like that.
It's a abandoned work. I will say, if I do buy that Wish cassette tape, I'm uploading it to YouTube regardless.
Yeah, fair enough.
Whenever we do that one cassette tape that I have, like that single, we should upload it.
All right.
I've only got one cassette tape in this whole collection, and it's Joyrider.
Oh, nice.
Mine's in my desk right now.
Because no one's gonna listen to Gordon with Zero, a band from 25 years ago that maybe just had a single release on cassette. Who knows?
But
yeah, fair enough.
Just in short, for why I picked the Wombats, I like them, and we needed to cover. Like, it was a band that I've been meaning to cover for a while, like on a shit ton of other bands. So may as well just, get started where they started.
It's the Wombats
I think they had
time.
an EP before this, but
yeah, they had a few. Like that was the other thing about this week is that I was interested in how this is mostly debuts for everybody, but unlike it's a lot different scales of like how and where they are starting with their big debut.
Well, like Lil Nas X pretty much started, like, because it's one of the ones we're covering, pretty much started with this EP in Old Town Road, and it just goes to show just how much production you can get back then and now.
Right, like he had a mixtape before that, but no one listens to Nazarati as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, okay, Wombats have had a few EPs in the pipe, so here then becomes, oh, let's do an album. That makes a lot of sense.
And then they'll have bands from England, then a Japan only release, which is also why that they have a song called Tokyo, because that was all about the fame that they got from or like the kind of whole hit with Let's Dance the Joy Division, and it's all going back to when they were only popular in Japan.
And then you have like Surfer Rosa, which the Pixies did like a kind of a mini album before that. That was pretty early on for them too. And then Alex Boniello, Broadway actor, done a lot of like, he was in Dear Evan Hansen. I think he's in the cast recording for that. So he has a lot of experience like singing and all that stuff. So having this be his first solo work is interesting in that way, comparatively to everyone else.
Yeah.
So Dominic, you originally had a bit of you're originally a bit questioning about some of the lyrics on this though.
Yeah, I was kind of like, well, how do I put it? Matthew Murphy comes across as kind of very typical straight white man about like kind of clueless
You're trying
about
to
women.
dance around incel. We can definitely tell that.
Yeah, I was trying not to say it this time because I don't want to repeat the Goatse debacle, but that was the vibe I was getting.
Yeah, one was a bit different on here. This one is a bit different, and I can kind of get you more than I can with Got Ya. Got Ya is an absolute no because it's all just a breakup album. Whilst on this one, it's literally a teenager not being able to find love.
Right,
which is a bit closer to it, but I mean Matt Murphy's lyrics are very, very self-aware.
And like really reading some of the stuff made me feel a little bit better about it. But like when you get to stuff like Backfire at the Disco, it's all just about like a date gone wrong, and it's like he talks about, I made the wrong move and I said the wrong thing, and it's like you're aware of it, but like the way you describe it also
he's aware of it and he's also just having a lot of fun that he fucked up.
I guess.
Yeah, if you can't find joy in your fuck ups, you're not succeeding as a human being.
You're not wrong. But then you get like First Wedding, which is all about like, I don't miss her. I'm at the wedding. And it's like, oh, clearly you do though. You feel sick to your stomach and all that. Or you fucking miss her.
Yeah, and that's part of the self-awareness that Matt Murphy has.
Yeah, and then like realizing that makes me appreciate it a lot more, and like being kind of like, oh, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, his lyrical content got a lot better in this Modern Glitch, where it was a bit more well written as well. And here it's just a bit like it's just really self-aware, and that's about it. It's not as clever as his later lyrics would be.
Yeah,
Matt Murphy's a pretty like fun musician to be around. Like, he has this solo project, Love, Fame, Tragedy, which before COVID happened and stuff. I've put it in my top 100 list, so probably. And we actually saw him in 2019 when he just put out the EP, like his debut EP for that project.
Nice.
And he literally said thanks for not telling me to play any Wombats songs. But as he was saying that, somebody yelled out Joy Division.
It's always got to be those.
And he
assholes.
just immediately just went and said, except for that guy.
Next time he does that, just say Little Miss Pipe Dream. Which was
because when originally he announced the tour, he expected that people were either going to shout out Joy Division or Tokyo.
Fair.
Which is just funny.
Wait, Little Miss Pipe Dream was like the moment where I'm like, oh, is this really something to worry about or not? Because it just seemed like a song where he's like, oh, this girl gets with all the other guys but me, poor me. I'm not jealous. No way am I jealous. But then reading the lyrics, it's not that bad.
No.
Yeah.
Again, it's you realize that, and that's the biggest difference between if someone's an asshole or if they're actually a nice person, is if you can tell the lyrics are self-aware or not.
Yeah, that is important for sure. Is like having self-awareness about it.
Definitely.
So I mean,
yeah, you go first.
This isn't my favorite album of the week, but like,
Wasn't expecting that.
But like, It might be number 2 just because it is so consistently all right. And like,
I mean, when we actually do a proper Wombats album,
Mhm.
it would be just miles ahead of this.
because it's like Surfer Rosa
That's
for
fair
me has so much more polarity extremes of like really good and really bad, and the really good stuff is nice, but having this kind of just steady reliableness is kind of also nice in a way.
Yeah.
Really, just fucking tricks out of a consistent number 1 here, aren't we?
And I figured as much that Dominic wouldn't like the song, like Surfer Rosa really, but I will get into it. But I really enjoy Surfer Rosa.
Alright, well let's go. Let's just go a quick track by track here on this, and I'll probably be doing some Love, Loss, and Desperation comparisons as well, because I don't actually plan to cover that album now that this has been covered.
You've done the Violent Soho comparison. You might as well do Love Loss sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna do it now.
Why don't you just make
It's
next
just
week
really-
Love Loss?
No, I'm good. I got
Okay.
other choices.
All right, fair enough.
So first track, Moving to New York, which this version always kind of confused me because it sounds like a drum machine at the start for the drum roll, and no other version of this song that they've put out has that. Like, it's a lot more natural drum sounding instead of the kind of like tick-tick that they got on this one.
Yeah.
So that one's always kind of like confused me, but I still like how the song sounds in here. The outro on this version is the more guitar heavy, whilst every other version usually has a bit more focused on the synth that they have in there, which I always found interesting about this version. The next song, Lost in the Post, is one of my like more tracks that are a bit more underrated now in Wombats discography, especially since like they blew up in America with Glitterbug and stuff. I think Lost in the Post has some of their the most creative lyrics in their early stages of their career. Like the she wanted Mary Poppins and I took her to King Lear. As the lyric was just a little fun tune. Or the whole lyric of she was lost in the post, gone where the letters were we write to Santa go.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
It's they do kind of dwell on these lyrics a bit too much, like they keep repeating it, but it's still a fun track. I like the outro of the Go to Santa, which I originally thought was Go to Salad with the way that they said it. I think these are both tracks that I prefer the Love, Loss, and Desperation version because whilst I admire this kind of like rough lo-fi sound, Wombats are just a band that are a lot better with that kind of like heavier produced sound.
More
Sure.
polish.
Yeah, just trying to remember the whole track list by heart here. Number 4's number 3, sorry, it's Patricia the Stripper. I got number 4 right, but like I was gonna guess Party in the Forest, but
Yeah, number 3 is Patricia.
Patricia the Stripper is again one of those songs that I like but don't love.
Patricia.
I think it works a lot better earlier in the track list than it does on Love, Loss, and Desperation. But
Mhm.
again, the song itself just sounds better and it's more polished.
Yeah.
Laura actually is one of the other songs which I think works really well early in the track list, and that kind of opening works better when it's a bit more lo-fi because it's supposed to be quite rough.
Hmm.
Obviously we have one of my favorite Wombats songs, "Backfire at the Disco," which that's the one. It's like, yeah, you fucked up and you're just having a bit of fun at your own expense.
Right. And then she got married and he went to his first wedding.
Yeah.
It's a good setup punchline kind of thing.
And now for the big parts of this, the tracks that will eventually become B-sides. So I'm going to call them B-side tracks, even though they're actually properly released. Metro song, I have no idea how that wasn't actually released on Love, Loss, and Desperation. I think that's one of their best deep cut songs. I can't really go too much into lyrics or anything on that,
It's
but
a good tune.
It's fine.
Mm.
He misses his Metro.
Caravan
he
and
thinks.
Wales, yeah,
Or her.
or maybe just missed her. Caravan and Wales. Board games have a double meaning in this Caravan and Wales. Good track. I'm not too big on Sunday TV, but Derail and Crash is also another fantastic track.
Hey Trix, can I run
Like-
a line by you?
Sure.
Hey Trix, do you like word-based board games?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your favorite? Mine's Scrabble. It's the only one where I could put I next to you.
Oh no, you can't do that in Scrabble. That's not a word.
Yeah, you
Fucking hell,
could
Dominic.
probably think of a word that that does that.
I and you is not a word. Though.
No, but you could fit it in a word.
Of course you can.
Only place I could put you next to me? I don't know.
Soon. There you go.
I mean, I like this album. I don't think I love it. I love it, but if someone wanted to get into the Wombats and you gave this as their starting point, it wouldn't be a bad starting point, to be honest.
No.
Plus, it would
Fair
definitely make you appreciate what they do next as well.
The cover art gives me huge Life is Strange 2 vibes. I wonder if they like saw this at all or and like tried to do anything based on this.
I wonder if the Wombats saw Life is Strange too.
No,
It only came out 10 years after.
more like 13 years after, but sure.
Yeah.
But
when did Life is Strange 2 come out? What the?
It started in
2018.
2018. It started in 2018 and went to through like 2019.
I still need to finish the first Life is Strange.
Great games, really good games.
All right. Well, favorites and least favorites.
I guess I'll start.
Yep.
I don't really have a least favorite, if I'm going to be honest.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of highlights on here. Like moving to New York is a great intro. Like all side A is pretty solid, if you ask me. And then side B kind of wanes a little bit, but then gets a lot stronger at the end with Caravan in Wales and Sunday TV.
Dominic.
I think it's all pretty solid. Highlights are probably moving to New York and acapella for me. Everything else is just kind of like fine. It's kind of a good blunder. It's, you know, I have nothing really bad to say about it. Now that we've covered the lyrics and I've changed my opinion.
I think my least favorite's probably Little Miss Pipe Dream. And my favorite's Backfire at the Disco and Lost in the Post and moving into New York.
Backfire is also very
and
good.
It's also always a shout out to Metro Song.
I'm a sucker for any time they fuck up on a track or like do studio chatter, so acapella is perfect.
All right, Dominic, what's your second hot take?
Let's just talk about Surfer Rosa because I just need to vent how much I really dislike Black Francis. I just really need for him to shut the fuck up.
Like very white, I am white like Frank Black is.
I just need for him to shut the fuck up, and for Kim Deal just to sing everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nah, I disagree. I like Black Francis's voice in it. It's what makes the Pixies the Pixies.
At least on this album, I have never wanted to punch someone in the face more.
You might want to look at a larger list of people then.
For listening for this podcast, at least.
We listened to D.D. Ramone.
I don't want to punch him in the face.
To be fair,
he's either going to sue me.
He was a recovering heroin addict.
He's either going to sue me or he's going to crumple up into dust.
It's going to crumple up into dust, absolutely.
I would take no pleasure punching D.D. Ramone in the face.
I would.
I'll let you get a free line on me if ever we meet just for picking that album.
Nah. If I punch you, that's just cowardly. If I punch D.D. Ramone, it's cowardly but awesome.
I'm just imagining you coming to the States now, hunting down his grave, and just punching the shit out of the dirt.
Good. There are still elements I like about this album, and that I do like the instrumentation of a lot of the songs. Like Bone Machine instrumentation is really interesting. Like some of the ways they seem to like record it, like try different things. I appreciate. I also really like the studio banter, which from what I was reading, they kind of tried to amp it up a little bit to make it like more interesting. Or like Steve Albini was kind of like trying to get, record something quality enough to throw on there. But I really like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But like, other than Gigantic and like Brick is Red, I do not like a lot of these songs. But like by themselves.
Where is your taste? Where is your taste?
Like, where is my mind?
Where is your taste?
Where's my mind? It's like,
taste?
All right, that's a song, I guess. Like, give me some Sonic Youth or something instead.
I mean, they're two different bands.
Give me some Nirvana
Yeah.
instead. I don't care. Like, Where's My Mind is so like fine. Like it's fine. Like it's fine. Like the Wombats, but like not as good either. Like it's whatever.
You want to just cancel Dominic, Trix? We have the ability.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, two beats one. Sorry, Dominic, you're on.
And like
It was bound to happen.
And I give Black Francis shit, but also like Tim Deal's whole thing with Tony's theme. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I like Tony's theme.
I mean, I agree. It's not the Pixies magnum opus here or anything. I think everyone here will probably say Doolittle is the better Pixies album, except Trix, who
Yeah.
probably hasn't listened. Oh, you have?
I've listened to some of it. It's all it's all pretty good. It all kind of just runs together.
But I mean, this is still a good album. There's a lot of moments here that I like, besides just the tits on the cover. I mean,
Took me until my third listen to notice.
Broken Face, I admire the kind of like broken record sound that they started off with. Like, you gotta also remember with every critique of this album that this is 1988. This was quite revolutionary for the alternative sound.
Sure, I appreciate that they did this stuff. Some of it I think still works, but I have never disliked a song more for an album that is otherwise this revolutionary or this interesting as I've hated Broken Face.
This album is kind of like if you listen to the White Album from the Beatles right now, you won't. Besides probably Revolution number 9 on that, you probably won't think much of that album was too revolutionary. But back then, just no one was doing those sounds.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like the song Revolution, which just sounds like there's a bit of static to it, and has like this lo-fi sound to it. You would listen to now, and I remember the first time I heard it as well when it played on the radio. It just sounded like a normal song to me. I wasn't surprised. But when it first came out, everyone's mind was blown because they completely just changed how music sounded.
Sure, and I can see where this is an influence for like Nirvana and everybody.
So the Pixies did that themselves. They put out albums that just no one else is putting out.
Yeah,
and that's why songs like "Where Is My Mind" are so popular and well remembered. Because can you name a song like "Where Is My Mind" that came out before "Where Is My Mind"?
Looking at the track list, Gigantic.
I mean, from another man, Dominic.
No, I can't. Sorry.
It's not like they're probably the first band who ever touched something like that, but they definitely were like the
one to get big.
first. Yeah, I mean that's why like there was this good video from Alpha Media talking about outsider music and why it's so important. It's because no one besides like a few artists, like Tiny Tim is probably the biggest outsider music artist that there was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that was someone who would actually get invited to stages and stuff. Like, obviously there are ones that are cult classics like Shags and stuff.
Steve Johnson, or Daniel Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Johnson wasn't that big though.
A lot of people I knew.
He was cult classic. He was a cult classic. Don't get me wrong.
A lot of people I know were surprisingly into him. But yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of people who are probably into the same music as you are or closer to it. So
probably.
And the reason being is that a lot of those artists would why they're so important is because they were writing music that no one else is doing, and they sounded so like out to the contrary and stuff. And they wouldn't perfect it. That's why they wouldn't be so big. But then you would get artists like Frank Zappa with the Shags, or in this case, Pixies with whatever's probably doing it before. And they know how to perfect it into something really unique, and you get stuff like this. That's why this album's good.
Like, I'm sure if you
early Pixies are just very important.
Yeah, sure.
You don't have to like it, obviously, just because it's important, but that's just why I like it so much, is because this is the music that pretty much inspired all the music I like. And I do like this as well.
If you dug deep, you could probably find albums and stuff that you could trace to this, like stuff that came before. But I do appreciate that this did a lot and inspired a lot of people and really changed how alternative music like sounded and like looked, was recorded. That does not mean I have to like it.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And Let's end the podcast there. Have a good.
Granted, I did not hate it as much on repeat listening as I did the first time, where I'm like, this is it. This is Surfer Rosa. This is really fucking it. It's a joke. And I got better than that. But that was my first reaction. Was like, what the fuck is this?
It'll probably grow on you as you listen more.
Yeah, like I really liked Gigantic the first time I heard it. I think that's easily my favorite song on here. One of the most
Yeah,
interesting.
it's probably the most well-known off this album.
Where's My Mind is streamed like 10, 100 times more than Gigantic.
Yeah, Where Is My Mind is the Pixies' most popular song by far.
Yeah, fair enough. On YouTube Music, the top one is "Here Comes Your Man," off of Doolittle.
Yeah. Where Is My Mind on Spotify has more than 3 times more than plays.
Yeah, like 320 some thousand.
I'm trying to find it on.
On the last hottest 100 of all time, Pixies got "Where's My Mind" as their only song in there in like the 50s.
Let's see here. I'm looking for it on YouTube Music because it's not really on there. I'm not seeing it, and I am pretty far down. Wow.
Probably just missed it. Either
No, I
that,
did
or they
not.
got some shitty thing happening on there.
Yeah, Trix, where is your mind?
I lost it years ago.
Although I find this is the most interesting thing when it comes to So I was a bit off. So hottest 100 history used to be like the first ones that they did used to all be all time, and in both 90 and 91, Pixies got in with 3 songs from Doolittle,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last one that happened in 2009, they only got in with "Where Is My Mind," but that came in at 29, which means like in this country, like 12 years ago, this song was still really big in everyone's mind, although it wasn't as big as when Doolittle came out. I don't know, I just found that interesting.
Yeah, no, like songs like Mystic Reeves blow this album out of the water for me. Once we go to Doolittle, I think it'll be just so much better.
I
enough.
fully agree. Doolittle's their magnum opus.
I just figured it'd be a better place to start here.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I still really like the talks about like the guy in the field hockey players, or like the "You fucking die" studio chatter.
Fucking die. Yeah.
I think that stuff's really fun, and I'm glad that's captured forever. But you know, like there's something about Black Francis I just do not like. Period. He
That's
seems
fair
pretentious
enough.
in a way that I cannot get behind. And I'm someone who likes pretentious things and people and media a lot. Him, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that he insists on calling himself Black Francis. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I like album. That's about it.
Album good.
I mean, it's a very surprisingly sexual album. Like mutilation and, like you said, cuckolding and stuff.
Yeah, I mean the song opens with the album opens with a song about cuckolding.
Bone Machine, I guess.
Yeah.
Your bone's got a little machine. We're done
Favorites,
talking
least
about
favorites?
it. Gigantic's favorite. Brick is Red's also good. Least favorite, Broken Face. Fuck that song.
Yeah, I agree with the least favorite, despite that I'm like still. I like that it's an experimental song on this album. I don't think it does it as well as every other song, but I still like that they're trying something on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bone Machine, and I like Where's My Mind.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have a least favorite. And I liked a lot of like the weirder hits, like Cactus and Vamos Surfer Rosa itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a fun album.
I'm glad somebody had fun with it, or a couple of us did.
I'm glad all but one had fun with it.
Yeah.
But Surfer Rosa is not the worst thing we listened to this week. For me,
we're gonna go with the most boring one.
I mean, it's technically an EP comparison, so let's jump right into it. Alex Boniello's
The
High.
longer EP's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Boniello, guy on Giant Bomb I've seen before. He seems cool. This EP does not reflect him at all, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, Dominic, I'm gonna have
boy music.
I'm gonna have my hot take before we get started on this.
Sure.
You need to start listening to goddamn albums before you fucking pick them. Sorry, it was supposed to be a hot take. That was probably a bit normal. There's surprise stuff that can be done. We've all done surprise albums here and there, but but Dominic, like so many times you pick an album you haven't heard, and it's just been boring as batshit. You picked the Japanese version of BTS, and like God, that was boring, and I hadn't even really heard the original one, and now you picked bloody this.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I need to listen to them before I do
You're banned from not listening to an album for at least 3 weeks here. So my ban has no authority, but still.
If this is
I'll
if
double
this
down
is
on that no authority ban.
if this is the EP that breaks the horse's back, I will gladly take that because I deserve it.
At least the 7 EP was at least somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
This one is just boring. If I died, I would be sad because I missed you. That's been written by 5,000 other fucking white men in the past year alone.
Yeah.
With
And like when it started, I'm gonna be honest, I had high hopes for it. When it started, I liked the instrumentation.
I did too.
But this is an album that is just totally ruined by its lyrics.
19 to 20
EP.
works pretty well because it's just instrumental.
The thing is, I don't even mind that if I died, I would miss you, like, song content. Because Tiny Little Houses did that on their debut EP with Soon We Won't Exist. But at least that song also made it sound like he was having an existential crisis the whole time. Whilst on here, it's just, you should love me because if I died, I would miss you.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like an existential crisis. It sounds like a goddamn dick. Don't like this at all. This is just... The instrumentation on Get Up was fine. That's about it.
Then
The orchestral intro is not needed when this album is 13 minutes long. You don't need to pad it out with a 1 minute and 40-second intro of orchestral instrumentation when this is not an anthemic experience by any means. It's just a couple of songs. You could have cut out 19 to 20 and it would not have made a fucking difference. Why is it there? Thank you.
Was it if I'm so tired that had the like am I made of glass lyrics? And
Yeah.
Am I made of different materials? That I fucking no.
And the cover art, look, whoever's drawn it, you do good artwork. I'm not trying to rip on that or anything because I think it's actually well drawn, but it still screams Tumblr.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just missing
That's...
the Tumblr nose.
I didn't even really like Pigeons that much, which I know you said was the best out of all the songs, which I do agree still though. That is the best out of all the Alex Boniello songs. It's boring though. He's got nothing that distinguishes him, and he is hot take time coming up. That's why he's in goddamn fucking Broadway, because he's got nothing else that distinguishes him from anyone else other than his singing is fine. That's it. And in Broadway, he's not writing a single fucking thing. So that's why he's fine there. He doesn't need to be different or unique enough or talented enough to get out of Broadway. I know a lot of people say that just because these people are singing in front of a stage, that they're incredibly talented, but so many other goddamn bands do that every fucking night, and they have to remember a lot more songs than Broadway artists do. Just because you're doing a little bit of dancing with that as well doesn't mean you're more fucking talented. Thank you.
As an ex-theater kid, I totally agree.
I like this chaos. No, but you're like, these songs do not need to be this long.
Oh my god.
That's why I like Pigeons, because Pigeons feels appropriately length. It is 2 minutes and some seconds, and that's the perfect length for someone with this kind of like songwriting ability.
I'm just scared, to be honest, that I pissed off all the drama kids.
They deserve it.
Oh, absolutely. And whilst we're saying that, I'm pretty sure my girlfriend took drama class in high school.
I took drama classes. I was kind
Am
of
I
a favorite
fine
kid.
to piss off everybody who took drama class?
Yeah, you're
fuck off.
talking to the I played Shrek in Shrek, so
Like,
Fair enough.
I don't know. I guess.
Well, I want to just quickly take a rip on the drama kids here, though. Fuck every goddamn drama kid that watched the opening to the Book of Mormon on YouTube and decided that a personality would be to recite the opening song every 5 seconds that you could, as if the joke wouldn't get old after the first time. It's a good play. I've seen it, and that's because the writers of South Park are good fucking writers that know how to do a parody and know how to create jokes. And just because you're repeating it doesn't mean it's a goddamn personality. Stop reciting the fucking opening song to the Book of Mormon. It got old. There were so much better moments in that goddamn play than the fucking opening song. Almost every other goddamn moment is better than the opening song. Why is that the only... Is that because it's the only thing that's on goddamn YouTube?
Yes.
It's not a fucking personality. I heard it. I heard
Go
people say it
comedy
20 fucking times a day in high school. It was
If you're gonna go comedy musicals, go with the producers.
yeah. I mean, Book of Mormon's still a good musical. I'm not trying to rip on the Book of Mormon here. Just ripping on everybody who watched the opening song on YouTube and sang it 20 times a day as loud as they could.
Valid.
Yeah.
And this is high schoolers. You don't have as good as a voice as you think. I have a terrible voice. I have an incredibly terrible singing voice. So you know what I do? I don't try to flaunt it to everybody and say how good of a voice I have. Only
I had a
one
fairly
person
de-
in my goddamn high school had a good singing voice. And I'll tell you what, even he still fucking sang the goddamn song, but he did it the least out of fucking anybody.
Hell, I've got a good voice, and I shut up.
I have no good voice. I am baby. I am quiet. I am
If you
cowed.
took drama when you were in high school and all you did was sing the Book of Mormon opening song, I want you to just fuck off. I have
Subscribe
no
to the
other words.
podcast.
No other words that I can say to you that won't get me kicked off the podcast myself. Thank you.
This has been PSA.
Well,
PTSD.
yeah, the Pigeon song goes better with the artwork than any of the songs on this fucking EP does. I'll say that. Also,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's interesting looking back choosing these two EPs because it's like this is a guy who's been on Broadway, who's been around professional productions for years, who should know more or better about like making songs that relate and feel interesting. And Lil Nas X is somebody who started making music only a few years ago and put out an EP that's pretty fucking good comparatively.
I just want to say as well that I think there are a lot of artists that have been in other musicals and stuff like that, or anything music related, that think that they're more talented than they actually are. And think this is probably due to the recent success of Olivia Rodrigo. The big difference there being that Olivia Rodrigo is actually talented, and even then, there's songs on her album which I'm not too fond of. I know a lot of people like "Good for You." I think that's just too much like the noughties pop punk emo that we had. But songs like "Deja Vu" and "Driver's License" are actually songs that I've really enjoyed this year. And then we've have a bunch of other like Disney stars and musical stars, including Alex Boniello or whatever, put out an album that they've written themselves here. He better have. If someone else wrote this, they've got even no more excuse than he has. And it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
I still like him as a personality.
I don't hate this enough to put this in my worst albums or anything of the year or anything. I kind of stopped doing those. But if I was, this would probably just avoid it and be forgotten about, and that's probably where it belongs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I will say overall,
I guess we'll pay attention.
You'll pay attention?
I was gonna say, I guess we could pay attention to if he puts out anything else.
We'll see. I think I've picked a lot less bad stuff this year so far.
Yeah.
Last year I picked a lot.
You haven't had another LSD.
I haven't had another Lauv yet.
You know,
Lauv was worse than LSD. I forgot about
LSD. I hate, and I still hate LSD more than this. Let's not put out any misconceptions here or anything. LSD at least sounds like it's trying to be different.
LSD is still worth covering for how strange it is, and like that was back when Sia was a name you could say without cringing.
Yep,
look,
before the whole.
Less said about Sia over and as somebody who has ADHD and a brother who has autism, and knowing a lot of people who are in the same boat, including people who have a lower function. Like my brother has Asperger's, which is high functioning, and I know a lot of other people who have lower functioning autistic brothers, and I've just like grown up knowing this kind of community, so I've been very like knowledgeable about the whole thing. And Sia can go fuck herself.
Yeah, I posted that one screenshot of the movie where the girl's making a weird face.
I was happy to let it go when I was a non-autistic actor, when I just thought that it was when I didn't know enough and I thought it was a high-functioning autistic person that they were portraying. When I realized it was low functioning, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You can't say you've done 4 years of research when you haven't done a second. Thank you.
Yeah, and especially the Autism Speaks thing.
Oh yeah, no, Autism Speaks is an absolute cunt of an organization.
Yeah, they think they can cure autism.
That's not even
I
getting
saw-
into the whole thing with the actor. But that's another story.
I saw this picture on LinkedIn where somebody said they posted a picture of saying like autism is not a disability, and it was this rainbow figure, skeleton figure dabbing, and
I've
I
seen
sent
that.
it.
Or it's
I've-
got the puzzle pieces.
But no, autism is a disability. It just straight up is, especially with low functioning, where you don't move properly. It's a disability. Don't
Yeah.
get this confused because you think a little. Some people think a little bit differently, as that's their only symptom and it's not a disability. No, autism is straight up a disability. Do not try and misclassify it as anything else because that only hurts them. You send that picture to people who have it, especially my brother, who just call that image like they completely disagree with it.
Yeah.
That's their best and kindest reaction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I'm not autistic or anything, so I don't exactly have that experience.
You
but
don't have to be. You don't
Right.
even have to be autistic to realize that if somebody moves, like you can see how low functioning autistic people move. Some of them need wheelchairs.
Yeah, like I've done work with like special needs departments in schools and stuff. Like I understand perfectly well.
And that's
It-
why
it-
Sia can go fuck herself. She obviously
like-
claims to have done 4 years of research and hasn't done a second.
It would be the equivalence of portraying a gay dude as a limp-wristed, effeminate dude.
Oh, like James Corden did. Prom.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, so many celebrities can just go fuck themselves.
Like they're so like talking
really-
about people who
I'm-
think they're better than they are, who think that they know things.
I really love that about COVID, is that we've realized the amount of celebrities who are absolutely just giant cunts.
Oh yes.
Ism were like far ahead in this. It's the first band I covered. We should have all just been listening to them. No. Instead, we listen to the celebrities instead.
We'll come back
Yep.
to Tism eventually. We got to. We
Yeah.
need to.
At some point, I definitely will.
I still have the White Album episode penned in for this year at some point.
Yeah. We're
I
gonna
can't,
find that
can't
out.
wait to cover the White Album, where their opening song is "Everyone Has Had More Sex Than Me."
Uh,
But yeah, let's
I think I'm
move.
gonna go for that Angela Transberry album because that name alone.
I'll probably go for Fleetwood Mac just so I can defend Stevie Nicks.
Is that
The Goat
really the hill
Witch.
you want to die on, though?
Maybe we'll see.
It's it's not the worst hill, but just imagine dying on a hill where you were defending Stevie Nicks out of all people.
My father likes.
It'd be
Stevie
like
Nicks.
it'd be like dying on a hill defending Yoko Ono.
Ugh. Well,
That's-
Yoko Ono did have some good art, but not music.
Trix, is this really the hill that you want to die on?
Well, she did something called cut piece where she just put like scissors, a gun, a bunch of other stuff on a table in
Say-
front of her in a crowd.
Saying
And,
Yoko Ono had good art is pretty similar to saying that Hitler had good art.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No,
I don't think that's the reason why people hated them. Granted, Yoko Ono's not as bad as Hitler. No one hates Yoko Ono because they hate her music. Everyone hates Yoko Ono because she's seen as the person who broke up the Beatles.
And I think that's kind of overrated and bullshit, personally.
Oh, Beatles obviously had a lot of other issues.
You can also blame
Yeah.
Linda McCartney as well. Like, who fucking cares?
There's a classic joke about joke about dogs and wings, and that's about as much as I can say before we get cancelled.
I think a lot of the Yoko Ono hate is rooted in racism, personally. But I'm a white guy, so who can say?
I disagree.
I disagree. Have you seen the Chuck Berry performance?
Yeah,
No.
that's the classic.
Well,
the Bill
okay,
the Bill Burr
I'll-
commentary.
Yeah, I'll build it up for you. So, John Lennon, he's this huge Chuck Berry fan, and he has this speech at the beginning about how rock really should just be called Chuck Berry and that sort of thing. It's an honor to perform with his hero on the stage. I forget what song they're playing. Is it Johnny B. Good?
Johnny
or-
Be Good. Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, they're playing Johnny Be Good, and Yoko's over there banging on a hand drum, and
Bongo,
then
yeah.
and then just out of nowhere, she just picks up the mic and starts cackling into it. And
They actually had to cut her mic.
yeah, and you can just see the rage on old piss fiend Chuck Berry's face.
Like, she was trying
John
to
Lennon
be
doesn't even
iconoclastic.
John Lennon
and...
doesn't even bat an eye because he's just that used to it.
Yeah.
Although Yoko Ono has apparently done some other like really shitty stuff, like actual personal stuff. Like I think there was the neglect of her son as well.
Yeah, and she withheld the letters from John to Julian Lennon and made him pay for them.
Oh, they were both shitty parents then. Got it.
Yeah.
I did not know that part.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone go at Yoko Ono for a race. Granted, there probably are people who have done that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but we're not. We're hating Yoko Ono because she's Yoko.
We're hating Yoko Ono because she's Yoko Ono.
Well,
thank you.
Let's talk about Lil Nas X. Well, we still have...
Yeah, I love how we just went on a tangent of hating everything because we just didn't really want to talk about Alexander Boniello.
19 to 20 is a good track. Everything else can fuck off. Pigeons is fine again.
19 to 20 is not even a good track.
It builds up a lot of something for nothing.
Yeah. All right, controversial take. Controversial take about 7. Old Town Road remix is the worst song off here.
Yeah.
No. Old Town Road original is the worst song on there.
Nope.
Both suck.
Honestly, Billy Ray Cyrus can just fuck off from any music whatsoever.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm not. You gotta go out of me and telling me "Achy Breaky Heart" was a fantastic track.
No, but I really like Billy Ray and Old Town Road.
This is a weird hill to die on, Dominic.
Yeah.
That's the title of this episode.
You know what? Everything here is making me so much better feeling about liking Land of Pleasure still. So
fair enough.
It's a good album.
I like 7 more than I thought I would. Like it's interesting, and like the critics are really divided on it, and it did not get a great score on Metacritic or anything. But I think it's better than people give it credit for.
I hate country, just straight up, and there's a reason why it's not so popular in this country because it goddamn sucks. No, it does. Anyway, continuing on, I was very happy that this album wasn't as country focused as I thought it was going to be. And I think it's probably still yet done the most interesting thing with country that anyone has done in the past 20,000 years.
Just for that, I'm throwing The Man in Black by Johnny Cash on my list.
Johnny Cash is the exception, not the rule.
I mean, he did 2 songs, Rodeo and Old Town Road. That he knew enough to be like, let me do something else.
I think, I'm going to be honest, this might be the hottest take off the episode, but I think Rodeo is my favorite song off of 7.
I
don't mind Rodeo. I'd like Rodeo, actually.
I was trying to figure out why the hell they would credit Heart as writers of the song. Is it really just for that beginning riff?
Yeah, most likely, actually.
Because it sounds kind of like Barracuda, but not really.
Well, there's definitely a lot of controversies about that, especially in the past 5 years. So, I mean, remember when Radiohead was allegedly suing Lana Del Rey?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I just can't imagine like the Wilsons and Roger Fisher going into the studio with Lil Nas X and like actually making out a song.
Well, there's also a very interesting case that happened in Australia with what is probably seen as the most Australian song. I probably don't need to say it for you two to guess it.
I come from the land down under.
Yep. And you know that kind of flute that flute thing that happens after the first chorus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what song that is?
No.
It's a very old kind of folk kids song. Kookaburra sits at the old gum tree. Kookaburra laugh, Kookaburra sing, blah blah blah, and it has that kind of riff in there. And it was a very odd case, and that controversial titled TV quiz show, which is not actually controversial, Spicks and Specks, posed the question about Down Under, and saying what song appropriates Kookaburra. And the answer was Down Under because of the whole flute solo in it. And because of that question, the actual owners of the rights to Kookaburra sued Men at Work because there was no credits or anything of the like about using that song in it, and it undoubtedly uses Kookaburra.
But so long after the
it's
fact, you're gonna sue. Come on.
yeah. The lawsuit probably should still never happened. Don't get me wrong about that. And the unfortunate part about that is Greg Ham, after the whole lawsuit and everything like that, fell into depression and was later found dead, not from suicide but from a heart attack. Which was probably helped by the anxiety that he got from that lawsuit. It's a very kind of like dark chapter in very recent. This happened in 2012, or 2010, 2012. So it's pretty recent as well.
This is a side note, but have you heard the original reggae version of that song?
Which song?
It was only released as a B. Yeah, it was only released as a B-side on like their first single, I want to say, but it's like almost a completely different song. I'll see if I can find it again, and I'll post it in the.
I don't think I've heard the original reggae version of it, but granted, I've never been too big into Men at Work. I mean, I like Down Under. I've more been a fan of Who Can It Be Now, but I've still never been a big one, so I've never gone that deep into to listening to them.
Yeah, I stumbled on this on the internet, just on like one of my 3 a.m. searches, where it's like, "What's sunlight?"
Unfortunately, it does seem like kind of using or appropriating or like not fully crediting, samples or artists is kind of a theme for Lil Nas X here, because Panini is credited as an interpolation of In Bloom by Nirvana. We did the whole thing of like, oh, I've never listened to Nirvana, I don't know. And then later being like, actually, let me credit it just in case.
I mean, there was definitely there's definitely always been a big case of artists sampling or using older tracks and stuff and reworking them into their new one, especially in like the kind of trap rap scene that Lil Nas is in here.
Right.
I mean, the big one was Little Peep.
Right.
Like almost all of his songs were just using another song and turning it into his own. I think Little Peep still sampled the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
But then you can also like dive into like the Satan shoes controversy that happened this year, where they were just selling
kind of bullshit, if you ask me.
They were selling Nike shoes.
I'm honestly surprised that Lil Nas X never got into much controversy about all the parties he was doing in lockdown.
I had no idea.
There's videos of him attending parties in large groups during lockdown.
Oh, fun.
During COVID. Was not really locked down in America, but still during COVID. It wasn't anything illegal, but it was still something that in your position probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And never really got into much controversy with that. I don't get that.
Just the right people didn't see it, The people who are gonna blow that up and like make a thing about it didn't see it.
Yeah.
He's pretty big right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a really good HR team. You would be surprised at the amount of shit you think you know about celebrities that you actually have no idea about. There were a lot of people who probably still think that Chris Brown just threw one punch on Rihanna and that was it.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I will say, Lil Nas X's Twitter is fucking gold.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
His beef with Caitlyn Bennett of, like, Toilet Paper USA and, what is she?
I love how we refuse to actually say their proper name. I refuse to say it as well. Toilet Paper for full life here. Although I feel like Caitlyn Bennett is the type of person who hasn't quite got the toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, Lil Nas X, he's in that quick ascent to fame realm right now, where he's probably doing a lot of shit he probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we went back to Cyrus.
Look, he wanted Billy Ray Cyrus on that track, and Billy Ray Cyrus helped make it successful. Not all bad.
It's still my least favorite of the whole EP. I don't think Billy Ray Cyrus adds anything to it. I think the original Still isn't
I
even
think
close to my favorite of it.
both songs suck.
Yeah, yeah, I might disagree with that. They don't fully suck, but they suck compared to everything else on here.
I think the sampling of like 9 Inch Nails is really interesting, considering that they almost won a couple Grammys off of it.
Hmm.
Like,
I really, really like Closure off this album, though. I think that's like the peak.
F9ly, or I'm gonna call it the Fast and Furious 9 song.
if that's not in that fucking
Seems like
movie, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't think it is, unfortunately.
It's called
that
Family.
is a
It's
wasted.
F9.
That is a wasted opportunity right there. But yeah, that song was,
I liked it.
or that song was all right. I meant to say, I mixed my thoughts.
Like a lot of the subject matter seems to be kind of like, I'm starting to deal with fame. I'm starting to deal with people who are trying to like bring me down or try to take advantage of me, which is, you know, kind of typical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kick It's about that. Bring You Down's about that. Like, it's nothing too revolutionary in terms of like subject matter, but it's still interesting. Like, considering he's known as like this kind of trap country artist, but he's trying to, you know, expand. And more recently with stuff like Call Me by Your Name, he's definitely done it.
There's the news story, by the way, about the Lil Nas X partying.
Interesting. Okay, read that later.
And the big thing was because he had also like tweeted against people going into church and stuff. Who were like with the whole shoe controversy.
Yeah.
And then he was caught partying. So he's a little. I'm not gonna put it as a whole like, oh, he's the worst person in the world kind of thing for doing this kind of stuff. But it is like still a valid criticism. It is very hypocritical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will shout out the fact that Old Town Road, the original version, was released on my 24th birthday, so that's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was the original? Was it released in 2019 or
December 3rd, 2018 was the original release of Old Town Road.
Huh.
And he promoted it by making like 100 memes a day, including like Red Dead 2 stuff, TikTok, apparently.
Yeah.
So he knows how to market himself.
I will say one of the better jokes that I heard about Old Town Road is that have you heard Obama's verse in Old Town Road? It's great.
But yeah, I like that song.
Pop into my YouTube recommendation. No relevancy to any of this, but it's that scene from SpongeBob where there's that episode where they had to write the poems or something, and like a band will record it, and Patrick writes one, and it's just the band recording one, and the singer just goes, "I hate my life," and then the keyboardist goes, "I hate your life too." And I feel like this is us reviewing some of the albums we reviewed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the fun little controversy about Lil Nas X being his account used to be like a Nicki Minaj fan account, and
I don't know that.
And like I was reading about like how he got banned at one point and remade his account, and then that remade account became his current account, and people were like tracing it back.
For all the things to cause the controversy for, who cares about that?
But then he denied it.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
because that was before he came out, and then because he was like, "Well, if you're seen as a Minaj fan, you're obviously gay," and you know,
yeah.
But then after he came out, he's like, "You know what? It was real. I'm sorry, Mickey."
I feel like though it's like it's better out of all the things that you could be if you're a Minaj fan or something like that, or usually when you're a fan of a pop singer, especially ones that are mostly like liked by teenage girls. You're either gay or an absolute. You're either gay or an absolute creep, and Lil Nas X is the better of those two options by far.
Oh yes.
I mean, you could still like that stuff, not be either one, but it's I guess not as common. I guess I don't know.
There are stereotypes for a reason.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will be taking my cancellation in the mail.
It is interesting that he put out this EP like a little over a week before he came out officially, and so like it's weird to have like some of these songs be so hetero seeming.
Yeah, like the fucking other country song off it that I already forgot the title of.
Rodeo. The one that you like.
Yeah.
And like he talks
That
about,
shows you how much I actually do like it.
he's like talking about baby girl will have some sex, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, it screams gay guy
Yeah.
trying to come off hetero.
You remember? Have either of you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
a little bit.
No, it's been on my list of
There's
things to watch.
there's like one episode where the gay character in like their life that they're pretending to be in, they're straight, and they had to convincing people that they're straight. So
Mhm.
they keep just trying to say that they only like women with the biggest breasts that they've ever seen. Oh my god, they just love big breasts. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of
You know
what
what the
radio is
hard-
like.
You know what the hard part of being a gay black cop is?
You know what the best thing about your voice sounding robotic is? You broke up so much
You
there.
know what the hardest thing about being a gay black cop is?
What?
The discrimination.
Oof.
Not wrong.
Oof. Oof.
That was a joke from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Panini for apparently being a reference to chowder and not the sandwich.
Okay, that's pretty
Man,
cool.
that's an old ass show.
It's a
So
good
this
show.
is just on my Facebook. Ignore this picture. Although it's probably relevant to the EP we're doing.
Oh yeah, the Alex Boniello
Oh,
one.
that looks
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
I know.
that chair just screams high.
Yeah, I don't know why that's on my Facebook feed. I've been into many stores in my life and I've never seen a chair like that.
It looks like it's like a Five Below or something like that.
I think this is one where we
And,
can happily not fully explain to the audience. They're just going to
Yeah,
guess
and
what
just
type
leave
of
it
chair it is.
enigmatic.
Let them keep guessing what type of chair it is.
One of the kings of England had one made. I'll say that much.
Ooh,
Hey, you know,
what a king!
covering this EP, we've covered a lot of artists we have not gotten to yet. So, you know, we've got some Nine Inch Nails in there. We've got some Cardi B. We've done it. We killed 5 birds with 1 stone.
Got 5 birds stoned at once.
Favorites, least favorites. Unless you want to keep talking about it.
Favorite is Closure. I think that one was just a highlight. Least favorite is the Billy Ray Cyrus remix of Old Town Road.
Favorite rodeo, least favorite all of Old Town Road.
Favorites: Old Town Road remix with Billy Ray Cyrus. Family, You and Me, or Finimely, You and Me. Kick It's also interesting. Least favorite: the original Old Town Road.
And with that comes our rankings. I think we can all agree that Alexander
Alex Boniello.
Boniello is the last one.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I think Dominic, you can go first.
Number 4 is Mr. Boniello. I am sorry. I wish your repeat was better. Number 3 for me is going to be Surfer Rosa. Number 2 is going to be the Wombats. Number 1's 7 by Lil Nas X.
I'm going to slightly disagree there. I think Alex Boniello is still number 4 though. Not even sorry. Make better music. Number 3 is Lil Nas X 7 EP. I mean, as much as I was interested by it, it's still not even really like close to the other 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the Wombats, Girls, Boys, and Marsupials, and number 1 is Surfer Rosa from the Pixies.
Huh.
And I'm gonna agree with Callum on that one.
Using my real name, what are you?
My bad.
Mr. Hands.
Like anybody's listening this far, anyways.
All right.
Well, I'm the odd
What
man
are we
out
picking
here.
next week? You are. What are we picking next week? Screw it. I'll go first. I rarely go first. So, I've been teasing this one for a while, and I feel like, especially for me, now that lockdowns happened in Sydney again at the time of recording, I just want to do something a bit happy. I want to become a butterfly. I'm choosing, of course, King Gizzard's Butterfly 3000, their most tame and parlor sounding record.
Once again,
This is gonna
King
be
Gizzard.
this is gonna be an interesting week.
Why is that, Trix?
Because I'm gonna be doing a '90s surf revival album that's kind of spooky. I'm doing the
Ooh.
Bombora's Head Shrinking Fun.
I believe that's one you've also talked about for a while doing.
Yeah, I was gonna do it last Halloween.
And then one album that I've wanted to cover for a while that I haven't really listened to in full yet, in full disclosure, but I'm picking it anyway. Get fucked.
It's all right. I know the album. It's fine.
It's RKS by Rainbow Kitten Surprise. But I'm also throwing on the Mary B sides, just so we can get through their whole discography pretty much.
What's the album that we're doing from Rainbow Kitten?
RKS.
RKS.
Plus the Mary B sides.
Let's throw on our song as well for shits and giggles.
I guess I was considering that, but our song might lead to an album. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll listen to it and not talk about it.
Fair enough. So just mopping up Rainbow Kitten Surprise there. It's the last of it.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, we got to talk about my exciting news here.
All right.
That's right.
Ritz,
That's right. I'm
go
leaving
ahead.
the podcast to become a pop star. Nah, I wish. I'm instead actually releasing something on Steam. Ooh. So that engine which I used to make Dynasty Plains the greatest game of all time, obviously.
Yeah.
I have been working on that engine for the past it's nearing 3 years of development, that framework.
Damn.
And I've been making this kind of simulator game for rugby league simulator. So no actual real gameplay. It's more of a toy. But I decided, hey, I should just put this on Steam. Put it up for free. Just have fun with it. And I've fixed some inconsistencies with the engine. I've pretty much got it up to a beta at this point of like talking, and it looks like it's gonna be all set to be released 31st of July. So probably pretty soon after this episode comes. I think Trix is even considering helping with the soundtrack on that. With contributing contributing a song.
Yeah, if I can do something well, I will. We'll see.
I'm gonna do.
That's why I keep asking you to beta test, Dominic.
I know. I'm just been very busy. I'm sorry.
No, it's all fair. I can't just make the beta testing other people's job as well. That's why I'm doing my own beta testing with it as well. But yeah, it's in fact the beta testing will probably come very soon for Steam. Like I'll be able to go to people and say, hey, you don't need to copy my files. Just opt in on Steam and it will download automatically.
Sweet.
So there's a bit of hype for that. So that should be released at the end of next month or the end of this month when the episode comes out. We can probably even have the store page because that's going to come live in the next couple days, actually.
Yeah, I can throw that in the description link.
Yeah.
Oh, dick.
And so pretty much what it is, it's you literally generate random teams, random players. They all have random stats and they save. And you just start a season and you simulate it. And all this data will come back about all the plays that happen in the game. You can make bets using virtual money on who's going to win games and who's going to win the season. Got a couple settings as well to change how seasons work and games work. And yeah, it's a little toy that I've pretty much been working on in my spare time, like almost 100% of my spare time for the past month and a bit.
Nice.
Until then, though, I have been Ritalin. You can catch me on my website, Ritalin for Kids, github.io. I also have a YouTube channel where I post nothing on it, but maybe I will. Eventually, I can post my Steam page as well, so that'll be cool.
I've been Trix. You can catch me on Twitter at procrastronaut_. This is like procrastinating astronaut. And an underscore at the end of it. And we catch us all on Twitter, Dissonant Waves, and dissonantwaves.space.
I've been Dominic. You can catch me on Twitter at DACICHOCKI. That's initials, last name. I also written for tiltingwindmillstudios.com. I have not currently, but you can read a lot of my writing and opinions about video games there. And just to recap for everybody, next week is going to be King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard Butterfly 3000. Bumboris is Head Shrink and Fun. And Rainbow Kitten Surprise, RKS, Mary B-Sides, our song single. Everything pretty much we have not covered yet.
Yes.
And then the week after that will be another 2021 episode. So who knows what'll be in store then. That'll be it for us, though. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.